Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture, along with several celebrity legal news. Listen, let's get into it. Let's get into it. This is going to be about the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni case. Now, if y'all are not familiar, over the weekend, Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds attended the 50th anniversary of Saturday Night Live. They were there at the show, and y'all, Ryan was part of the skit, and it was very simple. And I'm not going to show it. It was just a very little simple thing, and it was he got up and he was going to ask a question. The host, I think it was Tina Fey, and I can't think of what the other lady's name was, like, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "Yeah." "Why? Well, have you heard something?" And to pivot to Blake Lively's face, she looked a little shocked, like, "Huh?" And I was still looking at it now. Maybe is it me? But if you are saying that your wife is going through the stuff that she's going through, why try to bring light of it or make light of it and have it as a skit? I'm not understanding that. Now, I will tell you, their personalities give me drama queenish, but that's just me. But if you saw that, let me know down in the comments. But what I wanted to go over is Justin Baldoni's lawyer was on the Billy Bush Hot Mics with Billy Bush. And Billy Bush was interviewing him in regard to the leaked HR complaints. Now, we went over the HR complaints on my channel and have come to the conclusion that they are fake simply because Sony has come out, particularly in a Variety article, basically saying that they did not receive any HR reports, right? So they're in an article saying that. So for these quote unquote leaked HR reports, and as you read them, two of them sound like Blake Lively herself because it was in her complaint. Particularly the one about the birthing scene, and the instance, there's an instance where she was there was an instance in the car, there was a car scene complaint, and then there was the third complaint about somebody holding and rubbing the booty. Now the booty one and the birthing one complaint, leaked complaints, give me Blake Lively. This third complaint about being in the car with someone and talking, I don't know whose complaint that was. I don't know whose complaint that would be. Even if it's Blake Lively's or not, I'm not sure. But the other two sound very eerily similar to what happened on the set. Now, we're going to go over what Justin Baldoni's attorney said about this. And I want to make sure everything is up. All right. So let's go ahead and let's listen to a little bit of what Justin Baldoni's lawyer is going to be a setup. He's going to introduce him, and then we're going to continue.
Too. Is Bryan Freedman here? Do we have the great Bryan Freedman? Okay, this is great. Okay, the man who's running point for Justin Baldoni is his lawyer, Bryan Freedman, who's represented a lot of people. I mean, one Google search will overwhelm you. But Bryan is with us right now. Hey, Bryan, how are you, my friend?
I'm great, Billy. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Busy.
So he's been doing interviews. Now, you also realize that Blake's Lively team truly wants Justin Baldoni's attorney to, they wanted to do a gag order against him. The judge did not do this gag order, but they're not wanting him to speak in public. But as long as he is not speaking about the I guess it's the case itself, everyone is okay. Hold on, let's listen to what he has to say.
The busiest man in the business there. So I'm sure you saw that, just that Blake and Ryan were at SNL's 50th last night. Justin, if I'm not mistaken, is on vacation right now with his kids in Hawaii. Is he still there? Do you speak to him?
I do speak to him. I speak to him often. I wouldn't call it vacation. I don't think anybody who's been accused of heinous, arguably crimes, is on vacation. I think that he is trying to gather with his family and get some semblance of peace.
How's he doing? What's his state of mind while all this is going on? I noticed a couple pictures. He's trying to play with his kids as the paparazzi catch him. I've been in that situation before, where it's just things you're trying to be a good family man and play with your kids while like terrible stuff is happening out there. I think everybody goes in the barrel. But how is his mental health? Is he all right? This guy?
I think he's hopeful, and I think he's grateful. He's grateful to live with his family. He's grateful that he could be with his family, and grateful that he could let other fire victims.
Again, I really do like the fact that Justin Baldoni is kind of just like trying his best to stay out of the paparazzi eye. I know that a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know when they recorded this particular information. Well, they had to have recorded it this weekend because they're going to be talking about the SNLK information as well. But I did see a couple of weeks ago where he was vacationing in Hawaii, and someone caught up with him. And I don't know what Blake was doing, because on this channel we try to be as fair as possible as to what's going on. I don't remember what Blake was doing. I know that she did not go to the Super Bowl. Taylor Swift did not invite her and Ryan to the Super Bowl this year. So, but let's continue. Let's continue to hear what he has to say.
Use his, his house, so it could become of some use.
So it's a good thing that he is making it in the information that Justin is doing good things, even though that things are going bad for him, about making sure that because of the fires, he's doing some community outreach. But let's continue. I wanted to push it forward just a little bit so we can continue.
Bryan, what's interesting to me now is a lot of these people who turned their back on Justin Baldoni right off the bat, like he did a podcast called the Man Enough Podcast, and he did it with this woman, Liz Plank is his.
That's always been interesting to me in regards to Liz Plank, and just looking at what her resume is. Her resume says feminist. And so if she is that type of feminist that believe all women and, sacrifice everybody else type feminist, I could see her leaving the podcast, because it looks like, from what I looked at the information about her, she has set up her brand to be like the ultra feminist. So I would see her leaving the podcast because of that, because of the fact that she has to keep up with her particular brand. But let me scooch it a little bit forward. I want to get to what he has to say. He also talks about the other cast members, particularly the Bryan, the Skilnar guy, who was team lively. Now he's team neutral. And to me, that's where you should have, that's, in my opinion, I've always thought, be team neutral. See what's going on. Get the information in. Assess the information for yourself, instead of picking a team and then you are out here in these streets scrambling if your team doesn't win. Now, I know people will say, well, that's the middle of the road and you're trying to play it safe. I'm trying to get the information, and I think it's so important to get the information out. And again, they're going to court, so allow the jury to be the ones to make the decision about who they believe, if these people have, if someone has been defamed or anything like that. I think it's so important to let that process play out. But it's still, I'm gonna give commentary on all this other stuff, because again, we were trying to figure out where in the world is Carmen Santiago, where in the world was Colleen Hoover. But Colleen Hoover done popped out. And she's working with a partner to have her books produced into movies. She has that leverage now, simply because how well it ends with Us did. So she currently has that leverage, excuse me, to be able to shop around her books and everything like that, because it took a $20 million movie was the budget, and it made $320 million. So she definitely has that leverage, and I think she's over at Universal. Now, Sony, to me, you messed up, Because if she takes her movies over to Universal, Universal is about to make that money that you have skipped on because of this mess. And in my opinion, and I know people say, oh, well, they're the distributor, they're this, they're that. However, Blake was going to somebody in Sony to be able to jump skip Wayfair. So who was she going to? Who was she negotiating with? That's the questions that I want to ask. And those people are over at Sony. And Sony had the power enough to say, we're only going to pay for this, and Wayfair, you're going to pay for the rest of this. But let's continue.
Complaints that are circulating around social media, alleged complaints that say there are two other women on the cast who also had situations with Justin that were no good. One saying, oh, he grabbed my butt while he was helping me in a scene, and the other one, just not good. But they're heavily redacted. And what I understand is that these were circulated to major news organizations, and they did not go with it. They decided not to run it for fear of defamation, I'm sure, for fear of you and defamation. So they didn't run it. But some of these TikTokers have done it. It's out there. Do you have any information as to how this got out there? And is this slander? Is this something you're looking into?
I mean, I think we're looking into everything. It's interesting. Let me ask you, what are the dates of these HR complaints? Do you know the dates?
There's no dates. The dates are redacted. The names of the complainants are redacted, except for on one of them, there's an M. And in Blake's original, when she went to Sony.
You remember I said that there was a little section over there, and there is no month that starts with, well, March. I'm sorry. March. It could be March. May. I misspoke on my other video. I said, what month is that? But there's March. There's May. So there's an M on the end of that. But let's let them continue.
Sony. And by the way, they're not to Wayfair Studios, Justin's company. They're to Sony, the distributor, to their HR department. And there's an M in there, which means at least one of the other ones came around the same time. If it's May, unless it was March, but probably May, same time as Blake.
Right. Well, it sounds like we're playing Wheel of Fortune with the letters. I might buy a vowel to try to find out what month that is. I'd like to, I'm not really sure why the dates are redacted. That's interesting. I understand why people could be redacted. I believe in certain privacy rights, certainly. But I'm not really clear on why dates would be redacted. So it'll be interesting to see what the dates are. And as far as Sony is concerned, I believe there's a Variety article that I read that's published, that's out there that says Sony received no complaints.
Yeah, Sony has said they received no complaints. So Sony's going to have to, it seems to me that if Blake wants this to stick, or, the other two, no one else is coming forward saying that they also were harassed.
And that's the point. Sony, so do we assume that these complaints are valid? Sony is saying that they didn't receive any complaints. And I alluded to that Variety article as well. They said that they didn't receive any complaints. So where are these complaints coming from? Who has masterminded these complaints? Because names and things are redacted, but again, the dates are redacted. So we don't know when these complaints came out. Now, it sounds like it's looking like it's trying to coincide with, well, I don't know. Because they, yeah, that would be interesting to know what M, because when did they start? They started in the middle of May doing these, May of 2023. And, the writer's strike and all those strikes happened. This will be interesting. So was it May of 2024? But I thought that they March of 2024, because I thought that they had finished filming. They only did another extra 2 or 3 weeks, well, maybe four weeks. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. I don't know, but from what I'm hearing is that these HR complaints are fraudulent or false, are not real. But let's let him continue.
Or experienced anything untoward with their director, Justin Baldoni. But Blake's going to have to get Sony to come forward, and I don't think they have. And if they haven't, I don't see them coming forward until it's time. Would you, I mean, I guess we'll eventually know, right? Someone from Sony will have to say something.
Right. I'm unaware of any other, any, frankly, HR complaints that have been filed. And I think if you look through the website and you look through the documents,
He's
you
talking
can
about his
see
website.
clearly from certain documents that there were no HR complaints filed.
Right.
All right. We definitely. Let me go ahead and what are y'all thinking about that? Because that was enough for me. I'm like, okay, these things are coming out. Why are all of a sudden with these HR reports? Now, my understanding from watching other YouTubers and watching other particularly TikTokers, this has been floating around on Reddit for a minute. So, but it's come out now, and you know what I just thought about? Blake Lively them should be posting the amended complaint, and we'll definitely look for that, the amended complaint. But what are you all so far? What are you all thinking about what Ryan Justin Baldoni's attorney has said in regards to these HR complaints? He doesn't have anything saying that there are any HR complaints. Sony has come out and said that they did not receive any HR complaint. I don't know if Wayfair received any HR complaints, but at one point they were bypassing Wayfair. So where are these quote unquote HR complaints coming from? And are they coming from different cast members, or are those complaints supposedly of Blake? Because one of them clearly sounds like Blake Baldoni, Blake Lively. So, because it's in Justin Baldoni's complaint about the birthing scene. Anyway, y'all, we're gonna continue to follow this story and see where it leads us. All right, people. We do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Y'all, please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. Again, Bryan Freedman said he's unaware of these HR complaints. He's talked about Justin Baldoni and how he's holding up. And he really didn't have a big opinion either way about what's going on with the other cast members. So we will see. Also, Blake Lively has till today to get her amended complaint out. So let's go. I'm fixing to go check that out and see if she's got it up. All right, people. And as always, bye-bye.